come back to that comfort zone thing. So
Hmm.
basically, when I was in college, I used to work on various projects, which I used to make up on my mind. Let's build this, and I used to build
Hmm.
that. So what that
Hmm.
decided me that told educated me upon is that how to deal with something that you don't know. Like when you are
Hmm.
learning in colleges, we have a fixed assignment: implement this sort, implement that sort. But when you actually build
Right.
something, there are problems which are just unknown. Sometimes you don't even find answers on Google. So my
Hmm.
that basically thrown me out of my comfort zone for learning at the time when I was doing engineering. So my basic philosophy was learning while doing something. So what is your take on
Right.
learning while doing something?
So earn and learn is definitely a good thing. Learning while doing something is definitely good. So I'm very pro that. Uh, uh, Basically, I think practical knowledge, right? So you can read all the books you want. You can read Google. You can basically, if you go on Google, I think you'll get all sides of blogs, all sides of ebooks, everything, right? But at the end, basically, whatever you're reading, if you're not implementing it, I think that knowledge will be lost within 6 months. So, for example, if you're reading a book right now, let's say on JavaScript or maybe on Java or any of the technologies, right? For example, Storm or something. Uh, so while reading a book, you basically get to know that, yeah, I have understood how it works. But for example, if you, so giving a normal example, right? For example, if you're working and let's say if you're learning Storm, okay, and if you're reading a book, you basically will find, okay, I know about this technology. But if I ask you, like, go and install that Storm on servers, it will be a huge task. It will take days, basically, no, if not weeks, right? For you to basically go and install it. So yeah, practical knowledge, installing things on your own, doing things on your own, definitely gives you that competitive edge when you come to industry, right? Because you have already seen problems, you have learned so much by solving those problems. I think it definitely will give you a competitive edge. Because at the end, basically, why people join startup is basically you can get promoted um, as soon as possible, right? Because time is money. If you're hardworking and if you have a good knowledge, I think you can grow as much as you want there.
Do you think it's because many people don't actually know what their job will be once they join a company? Because when people learn coding in colleges, they think that once they go to any job, their job will be to write just that 10 lines of code. But it's not actually that, right? You have to debug it, test it. If you are just a second level like engineer, to deploy it, then watch for the production. Maybe they just don't know what actual job is. So,
Yeah, yeah, definitely. And yeah, sorry, continue.
yeah,
Okay. Yeah. So basically, I was saying, definitely, I agree. So doing just one particular thing, right, puts lots of constraint on you. Um, so what actually we also in online sales also do is we don't hire any QAs or something right now. At least right now, we don't have any QAs, right? So from intern to, let's say, a software architect, everyone has to do everything. So if you're building a feature, you will have to write the tech spec for that particular feature. You'll have to get it reviewed from at least your buddy and then from, let's say, your tech lead, right? Once that is done, you'll have to code the same piece. You will have to test it yourself. You'll have to write unit test for that. You'll have to do integration test for that, and you will have to deploy it and you will have to monitor it. And if there are any issues, there are any tickets that are coming from that particular feature, you own it and solve it. So at the end, you learn from A to Z in a same feature, right? You get to know how it's built. Not that we are against QA or something, but I think if we start doing that, if you start basically working initially in this kind of sequence, right, you also get to know like what kind of bugs, what kind of issues I will face, what kind of while deploying or before deployment, what kind of things I have to basically verify, what kind of things I have to basically cross check, so that once the deployment is done, system is stable, right? So from A to Z, you will get to know everything.